Hi guys, Alex here. Welcome back to an Alex is Shook reaction. And I am super excited because today we've got a brand new video from Kind of Good, Kind of Becky Williams, aka ALR's ex. And it has been so long since we have heard from Becky, aside from a couple of community tab posts calling out ALR. The last time we have seen her was 9 months ago, where she was kind of documenting her trip to Cumberland Falls. Before that, Becky has been known to do 90s ASMR, as well as the occasional update. When it comes to the last update we've seen from Becky, it's been about exactly a year. The last one she posted was August 11th, 2022. So this is exciting. Will she call out ALR? I'm not sure. I haven't seen it yet, guys. This is going to be good. Let's just get right into it. I mean, shall we? Oh my goodness, guys. I can't believe we're getting a video from Becky. It's been a year and a few days. Her last update was posted August 11th. Look at Becky. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Becky. Welcome, Becky.
Hey everybody.
Hello.
It's been a long time.
It's so good to see you. What's the tea? What's going on? How's life?
Whew, having some anxiety today. I've been gone for a while, and I was working a lot. Like, from the last time I'd uploaded my video, I was pulling like 16-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, and it was like back to back.
Yeah, she said in her community tab that she couldn't really get on YouTube because she was working 6 days a week. And then she probably just wanted that one day to rest, right? And not have to worry about YouTube. But it seems like a good idea to come back, put out some vlogs, get a little spending money, right? Why not?
I was so tired. I didn't have
If she can handle it.
time to really do anything, time to even really live,
It's a
actually.
lot.
And, January, I ended up losing my job, and my depression and anxiety had gotten so bad at that point.
Oh my goodness. So January, I'm assuming she was working somewhere else after that, right? Otherwise she wouldn't be able to pay the bills. Is she still living with Hannah and Rafe? I can't really tell by the background. Becky did show us her bedroom before, but there was a lot of decorations on the wall and stuff. So it makes me think maybe she's somewhere else. Maybe not. I don't know. Just speculation.
I went and spent 5 days on the fifth floor of the hospital, which is a psych ward. That stay didn't help anything at all.
I totally get her here. When it comes to those mental hospitals, I mean, some serious changes need to be made. They can be traumatizing. And isn't that like not the point? The point is like the opposite of that, like to work through whatever is being, whatever trauma you're going through, right?
So whenever I got out of that, I started immediately looking for another job instead of trying to focus on my mental health, because I was, I had to pay bills. So I ended up getting another job, and
Yeah.
it was the same thing. Basically, I was working 6 days a week.
So Becky was, I believe, a CNA or something similar to that, an assistant of some kind in a assisted living facility.
Um, Never really had time to do anything. Never had time to enjoy anything. And
I mean, that stinks. You really need to have like a work life balance, or else things quickly become so draining, right, for your mental health. And you could tell it's taken such a toll on Becky. I understand that, like, we live in this world where you have to work to pay your bills and stuff. And that just, it sucks that she was in that situation where she couldn't find that balance. But I understand how you could get there for sure. And a lot of times you don't even have the option if you want to keep the job, right? You have to take the shifts.
it got so like it was pretty bad things that happened at that job. Like, I was getting
And some places are just so short staffed, so they're going to try to get you to work as much as possible, right? It's just a bad time right now.
kicked in the shins every day,
Mm,
grabbed by the throat.
mm-hmm.
Um,
So she was probably working with older patients that had dementia. I know someone who has worked in a nursing home and they were talking about being hit with like towels and stuff. Just they sometimes get violent.
Yeah. So I really couldn't take it there anymore.
I have never heard of someone getting, you know,
So I quit there and came
I've
back
never
to my
heard that.
old job.
That's really bad.
And it's still 16-hour shifts.
Oh, so she was able to go back to the old job. I mean, that's interesting seeing as how she lost it.
I don't know. But, I've got to pay my bills. I've got to be able to take care of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But recently I just moved. I moved in with a roommate.
Oh,
He's a really
okay.
good friend of mine.
Okay, so that's what I was wondering if she was still living with Hannah and Rafe. I guess not. Now she's with a guy friend. It can't be Eric and Ricky because unless they actually did split. Remember that was a rumor because Eric was on Tinder, but he actually reached out to somebody on Snapchat. Well, someone reached out to him and then he replied saying that none of these rumors were true. So it must have been that they were looking for a third, unless he was just lying and now he's living with Becky.
We work at the same place together. So yeah.
I'm not really an Eric fan. Like, you're really going to come on here and say, keep my name out of your mouth. That it is going to cause the opposite thing to happen, as we have seen. Like, every reaction channel talked about it.
Something else happened within that time too. I bought a car in November, and they told me we will
Is that the something else, or was it something else she's keeping to herself?
send you your license plate and your tags in the mail. So I
Mm-hmm.
waited and waited, and I called them and
Mm.
they said we haven't got to it. We're trying to get to it. Just give us some time.
I mean, how ridiculous, right? That they would, you need to get to your job. You've got things to do. They can't send this license plate.
And I gave them plenty of time. Well,
Mm-hmm.
my temp tags ran out, and I got pulled over,
Can you
and I was
imagine?
given a citation. Um,
Oh, really? So they weren't, you know, listening to what she had to say, I guess.
and a court date. So I was told if I paid the citation off, I wouldn't have to go to court. I went
Yeah.
to pay the citation off, and the officer put an entirely different car on the
Hmm.
citation. He put a 2019 Ford Escort, and that's not what I drive.
You would think in that case, maybe she would be able to like weasel her way out of it since it's just like a citation and not anything too serious.
And I had to call him back, and he said, "I'll get it fixed. Don't worry about it." Well, I took that as he was going to fix it all. I wouldn't have the court or
Nope.
anything like that. So I didn't go to court. Well,
Girl,
I ended up
no.
backing into my coworker at work,
Now you can't expect them to do something like that, right? It's just not going to happen.
and we had to call the cops.
You're putting too much faith.
When they came, they were like, "You have a bench warrant." So they had to take me in, get me.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what was she doing?
Well, I ended up backing into my coworker at work,
Oh, okay.
and we had to call the cops. And when they came, they were like, "You have a bench warrant."
Oh
So they had
my
to take me in,
goodness.
get me fingerprinted, mugshot.
So they actually took her in and booked her? Did she have to go in a cell? No, just like fingerprints and mugshot. I'm surprised that that mugshot hasn't circulated by now, you know?
Uh,
Just with the way that this community is. Not that I'm going to go looking for it. I'm really not. I'm really not.
um, my dad got me out that day. Like, I didn't have to go sit in a cell or
Mm-hmm.
anything. My dad was there before I got there, actually. So
Oh, wow.
me getting arrested
Wait, so they did give her at least she got her license plate by then, I'm assuming?
caused me to lose my insurance, and I still don't have my insurance. So
What
I've
a
been
complete mess.
without
Was she able to like fight this? I guess not.
my medications for a while. It's Larissadone. I'm on 3 different antidepressants. I take Larissadone, sertraline, and mirtazapine.
That really sucks because I feel like, you know, if she had money for a lawyer, they would have been able to like fight this and she would have been able to, you know, get out of it. This is a completely ridiculous situation. I'm so sorry that happened to you, Becky.
and sertraline and mirtazapine is Zoloft and Remeron. I can't remember what the loricidone is generic for. So my anxiety and depression has been like out of control lately. And
Oh, yeah. So she wasn't able to get her medications because when she was arrested, she lost her insurance. Was that like through the state or something?
it's like, you know,
I'm not sure what the rule is, but I'd never heard that before. If it was private insurance, I'm sure like as long as you pay for it,
I expect almost nothing but
you
bad
good.
things to happen. And I think that's why my anxiety is so high, because it seems
It's almost like she's stuck in this cycle after being with Amber Lynn. I mean, things just went so far downhill. She can't seem to get herself out of this.
that I always get the crappy end of the deal.
This rut and her having this expectation almost it begins to manifest.
So, but I've just been insanely depressed.
Amber broke her. I believe that 100%.
These last few months have been just nothing but struggle after struggle after struggle. And
She's been going through it ever since she left Amber Lynn. I mean, even the update videos that we got from her last year, struggle, depression. It has been so bad. Amber Lynn like ruined her life.
it's about all I expect anymore. It's just a struggle. And trying to get my brain in the right mode to just simply exist is sometimes it's just an absolute struggle.
It was just a bad situation, and she's probably dealing with and processing the trauma from just that experience of living with Amber Lynn and taking care of her 24/7, the way that she spoke to her, the way that she treated her after the breakup, people online. It's just been so much.
And trying to get my brain in the right mode to just simply exist is sometimes it's just an absolute struggle. Like even with me sitting here right now talking, I'm just so anxious. And as far as talking about my ex,
Oh my gosh. Here we go.
I don't know if I can date ever again, because I've just got so much trauma and PTSD. And
Related to that situation, related to the relationship with Amber Lynn, she can't even see herself getting together with another woman. This is so sad.
you know, coming out of that,
Toxic situation, girl. You can say it.
I feel I'm
We all
ruined
know.
from being in relationships,
She's ruined.
because I haven't really been with anyone since. And
Is that just in regards to the things that she went through with Amber Lynn or her status as a public figure and everything that's out there? I mean, imagine dating with the history that Becky has on the internet. I mean, what would somebody think? You know, looking up this woman and seeing her relationship with Amber Lynn and all the drama and all the gossip on the internet. It's a lot. I mean, that's what she signed up for, getting together with Amber Lynn. She knew that she was a YouTuber. She didn't sign up for the way that Amber treated her. She didn't know that that was going to happen. She didn't know that Amber Lynn was going to be bedbound and she would have to take care of her, right? But she knew that she was going to be on YouTube and her life would change as a public figure. It's just, this is a lot. She has a lot of processing to do for sure.
whenever I would try to talk to people just to see just to see where it would go, if it would be, you know, friends or anything more than that, I would.
I find that like nobody's looking for friends. Like I'm looking for friends, right? But when you go on these dating websites and stuff, nobody's looking for that. A lot of people are just looking for one night, and that is the only thing that I'm not looking for. You know, so I understand not what she went through in the previous relationship, but the struggles of being single in 2023 and trying to meet somebody online because it's so hard to meet someone in real life. I mean, people just don't approach you like they used to back in the day.
Slowly stop talking to them.
It's just like not a thing.
And I feel awful for doing it, but
I get it.
I'm terrified. I'm so scared that I'm not enough. and what I bring to the table isn't what anyone would want.
This is what she was going through in the relationship, even with Amber Lynn, right?
Um,
Not feeling worthy. Becky, you are worthy.
I've been trying to work on like self love and stuff, but it's been so difficult, so hard.
You know, she's got her own place now and she has a car, she has a full time job. You're worth it, Becky. You're doing the damn thing.
And then it's, looking at the world, and the world is going to crap, and it doesn't seem like anything is getting better. And I'm terrified. I'm terrified.
It's just like wild. I mean, you look at the news and everything going on, it's just like a three-ring circus,
Like,
and that's our life. Do you guys believe in like the timeline theories that there are multiple timelines and, what did we do to deserve to be in this one? That's what I
within the next
think.
few years,
Is this like purgatory? Did I do something bad? Which one?
it's not even going to be possible for anyone to survive, basically.
In a couple of years,
But I mean,
with the way things are going.
I just feel like I gave everything that I had, and I don't have anything else to give anymore. Because, when you're taking care of someone
Mm,
24/7,
mm-hmm. It
you
could take a
sort of lose
toll.
yourself. You lose bits and pieces of yourself.
And that is so, just hearing that from Becky, and we knew that she was really, really struggling herself at the time. So having to put all that energy into Amber Lynn, it must have been so draining. And like she said, she didn't have any time to focus on herself and her own well being. She was so wrapped up in what Amber was doing and taking care of her. I just can't imagine. And we know she was going through it. And she was on a lot of medication, right? At the end of 2019, Amber had gotten so bad. I'm sure that was the time that she had to flip her over with the rag. So Becky really needed that time to process. And then her mother passed away. She never really got the time to heal with Amber Lynn.
Trying to give to everyone else.
Right. And maybe she should focus on staying single right now. It does seem like she has a lot of issues, and I understand why. I mean, I lost a parent when I was 17. That's the most difficult experience I've ever went through. So I understand that Becky's still hurting. I mean, even I think it's been a couple of years. You still feel it like it's day one. Only like 10 years later am I able to talk about this and not start bawling. So I understand.
And in that point in my life, I was isolated from a lot of people most of the time. And
Yeah.
it really hurt some relationships. I have regrets with my mom that I'm never going to be able to fix, and it kills me. But I've been pulling away from everybody.
Yeah, so a lot of the time she wasn't able, or she was coerced into not going to see her mother because Amber, quote unquote, needed her, right? And she would always, Becky even said she would continuously guilt trip her if she would ever leave her to go see her mother. And that's what Becky wanted to do at the time, to spend, because her family is really important to her. She's made that very clear. And for Amber to kind of attempt to rip her away from that, it just goes back to the narcissism, right? That's like classic textbook narcissistic behavior right there. And Becky will never get that time back.
My sisters, my friends.
Oh,
I mean, things were hard before between me and my dad, but now it's like,
she's kind of isolating herself. And I understand like the desire to do that, especially when you're in like a very negative headspace. But it is the worst thing for you. It is the worst thing that she could do right now, is isolate herself when she's going through all of this. I'm sure. I think she has talked about not wanting to be a burden to other people by sharing her feelings And I think that her family would definitely want to hear how she's doing, right? So don't feel like a burden. So many thoughts. I hope that she is seeing someone like a doctor.
I'm not close with my dad like I wish I was. And he don't know anything about me. He don't really know anything about my life, and that's the way he wants it.
Really?
I just feel like if he knew who I like, if he really knew who I was,
That's got to be really difficult for her
he would.
to have him in her life. It would almost be less difficult for him to not even be in her life at all, but to have him know who she is and not want to be in her life, right? That's hard.
Hate me.
He would hate her if he knew her, she says.
So yeah, I'm really struggling. I've been struggling for the last few months. Constant anxiety 24/7, like I can't get a deep enough breath. I take medicine for it, and the dose was just up like 2 weeks ago, but I don't know if it's really helping, or if my anxiety is based on situational, because it could be. But I'm trying to get back on my feet right now. I really am. It's just a lot to try to get through. And I miss YouTube. I miss doing YouTube. I miss having fun with it. It's just so hard to find time. So hard to find time whenever you're constantly running and going for work and for other people, and you never really give yourself a moment's peace. I'm really trying. I'm really trying to come back from this, and it's extremely hard.
The relationship. This is dark.
And it's like the only thing I can really give myself is that I've not given up yet.
Yeah, hang in there, Becky. I mean, she hasn't given up.
Though I've wanted to. This whole health scare with my
I mean, here she is. She's got her own place now. She has a roommate, but it's still her own place.
thyroid.
No longer living with Hannah and Rafe. I do wonder because back in the day, interestingly enough, Becky actually came on. Remember the drama between Rafe and Amber Lynn? Something to do with a cat. But Becky and Amber came on to clap back at Rafe, who was on You Now talking crap about them. And what Becky said was that their house was disgusting. And then she ended up living there a few years later.
Where I've lost my insurance, I've not been able to get my scans. So
They had a lot of animals, and I don't think they took 100% great care of them.
and I've been hurting a lot, and through here, like it's sore, it hurts
Probably something to do with feces.
to swallow sometimes. My throat's a little sore. Um, so yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried about it. And a messed up thyroid can also mess with your depression, and
I know that she recently said that she had a cancer scare, and that was something that she was dealing with. They weren't sure what was going on with her.
your energy and all kinds of stuff. My sister just had her thyroid taken out. My great aunt's exploded on her like
Oh my goodness. So this is something that runs in her family.
a month ago.
That's scary. And she said on her community tab post, possible thyroid cancer. Yeah. I'm dealing with so much on top of possible thyroid cancer. I feel like the earth is just falling out from beneath me. I appreciate everyone who has reached out to me with help. I really do. I'm just afraid to accept help.
So thyroid problems run rampant in my family. And it's like, I've already went through renal failure, and I was losing a bunch of weight. I was doing so good.
On
And
top of that, she's fallen apart on top of all the other issues.
I was on this medicine called Ozempic.
Oh my goodness, no way. She was on Ozempic. I would have loved to see Becky pull through with the weight loss, just to stick it to Amber. I know it's most important that she do this for her health and well-being, but sticking it to Amber would be good too.
And I was losing weight, but I wasn't eating because the thought of food made me sick and made me want to throw up.
I've heard that a lot when it comes to Ozempic, that people don't even want to eat.
And I've known a whole bunch of other people who's been on it, and it's made them sick.
I kind of have like mixed feelings when it comes to Ozempic. Let me know down below if you guys have had positive experiences with Ozempic, if it did help you aid in weight loss, or if you've had a very negative experience. I mean, feeling sick just at the thought of food, that means you're dealing with constant nausea, and that just doesn't seem like a good way to live, does it?
And after I got over it making me sick, like, yeah,
Okay.
my appetite
So
was shot. I did not
you get used to it.
have an appetite, but I was losing weight on it. And it was controlling my sugar level. It was controlling my sugar level. Once all this happened, they were like, "Oh, if you have a possibility of thyroid cancer, then you cannot take Ozempic." So I got took off
Oh,
that. My depression's been so bad lately that
and that happened to Amber Lynn, right? Because of her, what was it, the gallstones that she wasn't able to take the Ozempic anymore? That was supposed to be her saving grace. I had so much hope for the Ozempic.
everyone around me can tell. Um,
It seems like everybody, it never seems to work out in the end.
I'm just really quiet.
And this is interesting. All of our girls have tried Ozempic and it hasn't worked out for any of them. Foodie Beauty, she didn't really give it a fair shake. I mean, she was also on Coca-Cola at the time. So that's never good to mix Coca-Cola with anything, right? But she's on prescription medications. Amber Lynn took it, but she had to get off of it because of her gallstones. Life by Jen took it and then she passed away months later. I'm not saying it has anything to do with the Ozempic, but supposedly it was helping her a bit. I don't know because we didn't get many more updates before she passed away. And now Becky, everybody's taken Ozempic.
Really quiet and reserved, and
I think Rich Lux has had a positive experience with Ozempic.
just so scared 24/7. Existing is difficult and living is scary.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of have to do both. You have to. I mean, there's really not much of a choice.
Existing is scary. It's just crazy that in today's day and age, I mean, just to exist, the amount of bills that you have to pay and all the taxes they take out.
But to try to keep going,
It's expensive just to be a human. Makes you want to go back to the cave days. Let's just hunt and gather and like chill. Anyone want to start a commune with me? We could just do like YouTube. We'll all be reaction channels on our commune.
when you don't have anything keeping you going forward.
What do you guys have you guys ever seen like the TikTok commune where people were suspecting that, something nefarious was going on? I haven't really followed up, but last I have seen, the people were happy to be there. I mean, I think that's all that counts as long as the people are happy to be there, they're not forced. Although if there is some manipulation tactics going on, that's not good, obviously.
And my great niece was born recently, and she was only 24 weeks, and she's been struggling bad. She's been
What? Her great niece at 24
struggling.
weeks?
And she was born the beginning of July, and she's still in the hospital. And they're
Oh, she was a preemie, 24 weeks. Okay.
saying that she could be in the hospital up until
Oh,
October
that's so sad.
or November.
I hope that she pulls through.
So that's got me stressed out too.
I can imagine.
And
That's scary, a little baby.
my other sister's just really going through a lot, and I'm worried about her. And
Wow,
I just feel like there's not a day where I'm not worried.
it almost makes me feel like, what I'm going through ain't that bad.
But I do want to thank everyone who has helped me. That fundraiser was absolutely unexpected and greatly appreciated.
Oh, yeah. So somebody actually made a fundraiser for Becky. And then I'm glad to hear that everything worked out and she was able to get that money because she really was struggling.
Um,
And it's nice that she's coming onto YouTube too. Hopefully that helps her.
I was I was struggling. I think I had like maybe $5 in the bank, and I wasn't getting paid for another 2 weeks. And I lived 40 plus minutes away from my job. Um, I was behind on my car payment. I was so far
Mm-hmm.
behind on my car insurance that they canceled my policy and I had to get it reinstated. Um, I'm still
Oh,
behind right now just because.
I just had a weird experience with my car insurance because I was with Root, and I'm not going to say who I'm with now just because you know how people can be, those people that are hiding in the shadows ready to pounce. You know it, but don't get Root insurance. They were charging me $150 for a 10-year-old car. Of course, I had full comprehensive and collision, but I got a new policy from somewhere else. It was literally like a third of the price. I still get comprehensive, I still get collision, with just $1,000 deductible. It's the same policy, right? But a third of the price. So Becky, maybe consider shopping around. There's an app called Jerry that you can use. It didn't really help me, so I don't know if I recommend it. I just had to go to the website of the place of the company that I was thinking about going with, but don't get rude. They were basically scamming me with how much because I had had no accidents, no claims, no tickets, nothing. And my insurance continued to increase. It was 99 in 2020, 150 now a month, right? And that made no sense to me because the car's depreciating and I'm not in any accidents.
I just started this new job and I had to wait 3 weeks without a paycheck, and
That's tough.
rent's due, and it's just so much stress right now. But I was so.
Is she still living in and around where her and Amberlyn lived?
You guys helped me out
Or more so, I believe her family lived like the next town over. Maybe she just moved there.
so much, and it's so appreciative. You kept me from sinking. You kept me from sinking. And it makes me realize that there is good in the world. There is people who care, even when I feel like there's not.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people that care for Becky. I mean, we grew very attached to Becky watching her on Amberlyn's channel over the years. There's been drama, but at the end of the day, people didn't like to see Becky the way that she was in 2019 when Amber threw her up on YouTube, completely out of it. It was clear that people didn't appreciate that and they worried for Becky. And now, after we know what Amberlyn put her through, what we saw and what we didn't see but heard about, she's been through so much because of Amberlyn. And so we see that and we feel for Becky.
And it's like, I'm not only worried for me, I'm worried for everyone. I'm worried for all of you. I'm worried for everyone on this planet because we're all in trouble. We're all in trouble. And
This mindset is really not good. I understand things aren't great in the world right now, but damn, Becky, like, I'm worried for you guys. Like, she acts like this whole ship's coming down. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm just like the optimistic one over here.
there's so many people out there who don't see it. And it's like, once the rose colored glasses come off, you can't put them back on.
Does she mean the world?
You see the world as it
Yeah.
is, and you see what's going on.
And some people don't see what does she mean by that? That's kind of ominous. What do you guys think? Am I just being too optimistic? Is this whole ship coming down? Like, what does she exactly mean by that? Is it her negative headspace kind of getting in the way? That's a lot to
So I'm hoping
process.
everybody out there is trying to take care of themselves.
What does
And
she know? What does she see? I mean, I understand things aren't great.
I know you guys are struggling as well. And it makes me worried because I don't know what to do. I wish I could do something. I wish I could help everyone.
I feel like it's a really weird time because some people are doing better than ever. And some people are really, really struggling when they weren't, pre pandemic. versus now in the economy. Things are very expensive, so people are struggling. But I do know people that are doing better than ever, and then some people worse than ever. It's a very weird time.
But I can barely help myself right now. But I do appreciate everyone who has stuck around hoping for me to come back. I will try to do what I can. I will try to upload when I can, and I'll try to make it entertaining. But it's been a really hard year and a half. Yeah, year and a half. It's been a really hard last 3 to 4 years, if we're being honest.
Ever since she got with Amber Lynn, that would put it at as soon as she got with Amber Lynn.
You know, because in 2019,
she even admitted she completely destroyed her. Okay, 2019.
Was so messed up, so depressed, so I was on so many medications that I was a zombie, and I don't really remember a lot of it. Like, ever since.
That's crazy. And even during that time, you know, it was her last bit of time that she could have spent with her mother. And because whatever this doctor put her on, right, it really falls on that doctor. She wasn't able to spend that time with her mother clear-headed. I'm sure she regrets that, and that's sad. And it wasn't in her control. I mean, she just wanted to get help. She just wanted to get better, you know, and all that on top of Amber Lynn, the added stress, her not wanting her to go visit her mother, taking care of her, not being able to take care of herself.
Then and on, it's just been nothing but horrible
What
stuff.
a spiral.
And I'm just waiting for the sun to shine again. I don't know when it's going to happen.
Yeah, Becky, hang in there. I think it will.
But thanks to everyone who's listened and is still here watching me right now. And thank you to everyone who's been rooting for me. It means a lot. It means a lot. And it tells me that there is still hope. So thank you guys, and I will see you next time.
Well, there's a little positivity there at the end. That's kind of a beautiful thing. Through the generosity of others and people caring about her, Becky was able to see a little glimmer of hope. There's something very beautiful about that. And I do think despite the toxicity and craziness, there are a lot of really great people in this community, people that I've met, people that I've talked to, that have been here for me in my dark times. We should also take the time to acknowledge the good in the world and the good in this community, because I do see it. And that's you guys. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I will, of course, catch you guys in the next one. All right. Bye, guys.